Hello again, everyone. The other day I watched a video of a lady whose channel is called Words and Pictures, and she was making tags using Tim Holtz moon masks and stencils. And I thought these tags were just wonderful. She made them in pairs. I'm only going to do one today, but I don't have Tim Holtz moon mask and stencils. So I thought, can I do it with what I've got? So I got a couple of circle dies and cut my masks from pieces of mylar, 2 different sizes. So I can use that to mask, to colour the sky. And the surrounds I thought I could use with this, which is a Marianne design stencil, and it's called Tiny's Ink Stains. So I thought perhaps some of these would do for the contours of the moon. So if I put that over and use this, I could perhaps, have an impression of what this lady was doing. I don't remember her name, actually. I just remember the name of the channel, but her work was stunning, absolutely inspirational. So I'm going to have a go. So I think what I'll do, and I dug out my distress inks, not oxides, just distress. She used those, and I think the effect, I haven't used these for years, I think the effect of a distress ink compared to a distress oxide is a much more ethereal, clearer sort of colour. So I'm just going to have a go, just see how I get on. Now, I could use either of these. I think I'll try, first of all, the larger one. I think that might be easier for me to use this other stencil over. So I'm going to start by doing the sky and work my way down. And I've dug out these. I haven't used these for ages either. I've got a whole stack of them on Amazon, but I can't find round holders, so I've had to pop them onto rectangular ones, but I don't think that should make any difference at all. So let's just have a go and see. And I don't have all the colours in distress inks, because when I changed over to mainly using oxides, I stopped buying new colours as they came out. So I've got more colours in my oxides now than I do in my distresses. How many? 2015, that's what I've got. That's all I've got. So, some of the interesting ones like Uncharted Mariner and Lumberjack Plaid and stuff, Lost Shadow, I don't have. So we'll just see how we go. So first of all, I'm going to start by trying to do the sky. This may be an unmitigated failure, but, there's one way to find out, isn't there? So this is my scrapbook.com little bit of grip map, which is on the side of my desk, which will hold these ink pads still. Don't always remember to use them, so, we'll have to see how we go. Okay, let's go with, this is Faded Jeans. Okay, it's Faded Jeans. Do this around here. So I haven't used sponge applicators for ages and ages and ages. I may have to nip over and get some more colours, because I just don't know what the effect's going to be. The card I'm using is Hammered card from Paper Mill Direct. There used to be a Paper Mill Direct shop not far from me, and then I was devastated when it closed. But probably just as well, because I've got a shelf full of inks. not of inks, of card. I'm looking at this. Right, let's do a little bit of Stormy Sky. Here's my Stormy Sky. I'm going to use the same dauber, or don't know what you call it really. Let's bring this down here a bit. Oops. Just wondering if I should have put a bit of repositionable spray on it. Keep it in the right place. I say these inks haven't been used for years, so I'm kind of surprised that there's still enough ink in them to transfer to the page, to the paper. It's absorbing a lot, I think. Right, let's add a bit of, let's use some green in this. I've got iced spruce and bundled sage. Let's just see. Bundled sage. Let's work this one up from. I use a different one for this. Use one for the greens and one for the blues. See that ink pad is just absolutely staying where it is. Right, let's start at the bottom of this and work my way up. I looked out of the window. My car was on the drive, and in the road I saw this thing that looked like an ice hockey puck. And I thought, what on earth is that in the road? We live in a cul-de-sac. We don't get many people going by, only the people who live here. And I thought, what on earth is that thing? And then I looked at my car, and it's a hybrid car, and I plugged it in, and the end of the cable has a cover, a bit like, you know, this. Pretend this is the cable of the electric cable for the car. It goes into the no, don't pretend that. This is the bit that goes over the end. Pretend that's the end of the cable that goes into the car, and it has a little cover on the end of a line like this. And it was this bit at the end that had been left in the middle of the road. And I thought, how on earth did that get off the end of the cable and into the middle of the road? I went out to fetch it, and it had teeth marks in it. I think it was the fox. He decided he fancied a little bit of the cable, thought it might be tasty, and I'm afraid he was disappointed because he just left it in the middle of the road. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with it now. We will see. Right, let's have a look at this. I think I'll have a bit more colour. It's coming on, coming on. Here I've got some walnut stain. This is really quite dark. I could use a different one for brown, couldn't I? Let's get a... Where is it? Okay. Just haven't got another handle that I can find. Anyway, let's try this. So this one is walnut stain. Putting my fingers on here to try and keep them a bit clean. To it. Right. Let's just mix this in a little. They don't mix like blending brushes do, but I don't have blending brushes that I can use for regular distress inks. I used to use those finger daubers for my distress inks. Let's use the green again. of the iced spruce. Okay, now I'm going to have a go at the moon. Let's just see how we get on with that. First thing I'm going to do is to try and put a little shadow to make it look more spherical. So I've got hickory smoke here. This is the one. This is the one for hickory smoke. What colour's that? Walnut stone. Let's put that away. Here's the hickory smoke. Okay. Iced spruce. I think we're all right. Okay. This is all together too much. Oh, I haven't quite got to the edge. Let's just get that right. Could have done that with what was on there. What was on there? On the sponge. Let's just try some of this. Let's just try and see. Should put it on a sticky mat, really. Just wondering if I used a lost shadow over the whole thing. This is a white watercolour pencil. Just to make it a bit lighter on the top. This is just a water brush. Does it look like the moon? Now I want to use this stamp. I don't know how this is going to work out. I want to put this kind of here, as if we're looking up at the moon through the foliage. Let's try Versafine here. This is what is sometimes called, I believe, half-tone stamp, where some is totally flat and some is like lots of little dots that give a different sort of impression. Let's just see. I think I would have been better, A, standing up, and B, using a cushion mat underneath. But we'll see. I've got a few more stamps I can put on as well. Let's see. I thought perhaps this one. This is Artemio. That one was a penny black. Pop this onto a block. Let's see about this one. Again, this one has got texture in it. It's really rather nice. See what else I can find. Didn't like the stem of that, I pressed too hard. Okay. I think I will try a little script. I've got this is Artemio. Let's try this. I don't know which way up it's supposed to be. It's all nonsense. It was like me writing with my pen yesterday, the glass pen. Okay. What to put on it? I did cut out some bats on my silhouette. These were from PNG Tree, I think it is. And at that site, you can for the free license, you can have one download a day, but you have to acknowledge what you've used. If you go for a subscription to upgrade, which presumably is paid, I didn't go that far. If you do have a subscription, then you don't have to give any acknowledgement of what you use. Presumably you've paid for that pleasure. So this one I didn't pay for. I had my one free download, and so I'm acknowledging it. Let's put some of these. The joy of having things as cut with a silhouette or whatever, and die cutting machine, you can make them whatever size you wish. And I've got, three. It's a set of 3, and I made them just really tiny. I did find some butterflies, but of course butterflies are not out at night, are they? So here's the other one. I mean, if you had to die for these, you'd be forever losing it, wouldn't you? Well, I would anyway. So here we are. I think the moon needs a little work, I must confess. It's the first time I've tried it. The rest of the tag looks a little bit heavy, but I think I need to work out what colours I need. I would like to put some die cuts on of some description. I've got these electronic cut things. I'll find something to put on, and I'll be right back. Well, I found this die of grasses, which I thought would be very good for covering up the slight, you know, pig's breakfast underneath there. And so I'll stick that down. And then I thought I fancy a bit of lace, something for the, you know, the tag at the top and a bit at the bottom. So I found this in the drawer, which is, I can't imagine why I got it or where it came from, but isn't it gross? But what I thought I'd do was colour it with some marker pens. And I started with this one, which is Shorthorn Brown, which is that colour there. And I wasn't too thrilled on that, really. So I think I'll carry on and do the whole lot with that, because I'd like a piece, half of this width for the bottom, and then a longer piece, half the width, for the tie, the tag tie. So I'm going to have to do both colours, I think, to get an even colour. So just going over it, this is the Shorthorn Brown. This is a Nuvo marker. That's the first layer. And then we'll do, this one is Woodland Moss. So Woodland Moss over the top makes a nice, really dark brown. I think without the Shorthorn whatever underneath, it would be much greener. But with that underneath, it kind of works. Okay, let's just finish this off here. I'll leave this to dry for a moment while I stick the reeds on. Okay. Let's just stick these reeds on. I think I'll use this glue. Yeah, poor old fox. I wonder if he thought he'd got something tasty. The cap was just hanging off the cable, and it was actually on the floor. I don't know the make of this this dye. I've had it for a long time. I've had a lot of my things for a long time, must be said. But you know, people keep things. I'm not one for, you know, buying all the time. I do like to get stuff, I have to say, but I like to use what I've got if I can. So let's have a go at this. Like this, that's what the reason why I thought I'd have a go at that moon. I really like the idea of this set from Tim Holtz. But the bottom of this is a bit wobbly. Just kind of nice for the wobbly edge of this the die cut. Now let's cut this up. Let's just see. That's long enough. Oh, let's cut up the middle first, because I don't want all that width. Let's cut that off a bit more. I don't think I want the tiddly bits. Let's just get this more level. At the retreat, I was sitting next to a lovely lady called Stella, and I hadn't taken any long bladed scissors with me. And we were cutting out stuff that needed to be straight. So I borrowed her scissors, and I said, "Oh, these are nice, Stella. Where did you get these from?" And she said, "Oh, I think they were Sainsbury's." And I said, "You know, I think I've got the same scissors at home, but don't use them in the craft room. They're down in the kitchen." So I've pinched them from the kitchen, and they're now up here. Oh, they're very nice, thank you. Now, what to stick this on with? I think I might do a little bit of tape runner. See if this works. Just put it across the bottom. Right, let's see. Make sure it's all tucked in. Don't want any going beyond the edge. Okay. There we are. Now, if I don't want that to feel tacky through the lace, I can just use some anti-static powder on it, or a bit of talcum powder, or whatever. But I think it'll be fine. Right, there's that. Now, is that going to be enough for this? I think it might. I think it just might be. I'll cut straight across there. Okay. Need a bit of extra colouring on the back because this is going to be seen probably from both sides. So let's just put a little bit of this, the darker one, on the back as well. I often colour ribbons and lace and string and goodness knows what to match whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay. And I think that I can probably put it through and then just glue a little bit just to keep it in position. Or put a staple through it, maybe even. I wonder if I could twist it in the centre so that it goes like that. A bit there that's not coloured. I may put a little staple in that. Or a glue dot. So, I don't know what we think. Let's just clear the deck. I don't know if this should be finished or whether it needs other work. Let's take a look. There it is. I think it needs a word on it, don't you? I think it needs some kind of sentiment. I definitely do. So I'm going to have to think again. I keep sort of, evolving as I'm doing things. Let me think what I can do for a sentiment. I think we need something on here. I'll be back again. Well, I found a die that I liked. And it's a two-part die, the word and the shadow, but I thought it would look kind of nice if it was raised a little bit. So I've got here a foam sheet. It's one of these adhesive white foam sheets. I got it from Craft Stash. And I'm going to cut out the back one again in this. But these dies, the card seems to stick in it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is cut it out with a piece of wax paper in between. So that hopefully will stop it from getting stuck in the die quite so much. And I'm not putting the whole thing through the die machine because it's going to squish it each time. So, least squish, soonest mended kind of thing. So let me just cut this out and see how we go. I'm not sure which side's which of this one. Both are the same. Sometimes one peels off more easily than the other. I know that with the Sticks 2 one that I use, I always put the die onto the side with the printing because that seems to work better for me. But this one, both sides appear to be the same, so we'll just see how we go. Right. I just put a little bit of glue behind the tab there. That's why the bottle's standing on there. Right, let's get this off. And I may have used it the wrong way up. We'll see. Seems to be coming off very readily the other side. And it's the top side I want off first. Well, it's coming out of the die far more easily with that wax paper on. which is excellent. Let's get these out and these bits out. I don't want the back off yet. Let me just stick this onto the top and then I'll try and do all that later. Let's take the top layer off. So it's a top layer plus the wax paper in this instance. There we go. Right. I am going to put some glue stick over this because I want to be able to manoeuvre it a bit, and it's jolly sticky. So let's just put this over first. Right. Still sticking to me. Okay. There we go. Now I'll try and get the bits out of the middle. That bit there. This bit here. It did actually just stick a little bit. I'm just going to see there. There we go. Yeah, and the O, and we're there. Excellent. Now I can peel the back off and stick it onto my tag. And I think I may put this tag into one of the pages of my journal, just to say this is your first attempt at doing the moon. So look back and see if you're improving. I'm going to put some on this too, just to get my positioning right. There we go. Oops, there's a bit of something on there, is there? There it is. There. So my tag is done. I'm quite pleased. Quite pleased. I think, you know, this is kind of covering a multitude of sins down here, really. It's not the best, but I'll pop it into one of the pages of my journal. Do come back and see me next time. And thank you so much for watching.